Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Josh Martinez, and I'll be your host and your presenter for today's presentation. I want to go ahead and say thank you to each and every one of you for allowing us to be part of your continuing education growth. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, if you could please be so kind to type in a yes into the question section box. Just let me know you can hear my voice. That let me know that everything's working properly at my end, as well as everything's working properly in your end. Hey, good morning, Davey, Anthony, Bobby, Arthur, Mo, Carol, John, Vernon, Carl, Jurgen, Ralph, and everyone else. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to day 3 of the 5 for 5. I really hope you're learning a whole lot over the last couple of days. We went over a tremendous amount of information. Today is another action-packed day, okay? So we have a full agenda. This entire experience is going to last for about 1 hour. But before we get started, here's my question. Type in yes, why yes, if you're able to see that video in the beginning of the presentation. Type in yes if you're able to see that video. Okay, perfect. Now, the neat thing is technology advances every single day, and now we have the ability through our software to play videos and testimonials. So the testimonial in which you were watching before we got started was a testimonial of Eddie. Now, Eddie is an individual who started out about 6 months ago and literally came into the Forex market, well, joined Market Traders Institute about 6 months ago, came to the Forex market with zero expectations, as in saying to himself, hey, I would be happy making an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month. He did not anticipate the wild success in which he generated. He has less than 1 year of trading experience, and he was able to generate over $300,000 US in the last 6 months. He's been able to double his earnings back to back, months after months after months. He's now making over $50,000 US a month right now. And so what I did is I played that interview. So one of the things which I do is when investors see consistent success and they generate returns, what I do is I interview them. And I discover and I try to find out what are they doing, what sources are they utilizing, what strategies are they approaching, what are their stumbling blocks. So tomorrow I plan on sharing with you another testimonial in the morning. So if you want to come about 20 minutes before showtime, what I'll do is I'll post and show and share a testimonial video before we get started. This way you can see the tips and tricks and nuggets of other successful traders. See, when it comes down to trading, you're really not trying to discover anything new. You're just basically trying to duplicate what other successful investors are doing. That's all you're doing. As long as you can do what other successful people do, then in return you should see success. Now, one of the neat things about that interview, that wasn't too long ago, that was about a month ago, or less than a month ago, and he was talking about the Euro Aussie, and he said, hey, what do you think the Euro Aussie is going to do? And that was a handful of weeks ago, and this is where the Euro Aussie was there. And he says, hey, I'm short the Euro Australian dollar. I don't know if I should close my position or hold on to it. And I said, Eddie, listen, my friend, the market is expected to rally to 5,600, but before it rallies to 5,600, it should fall to 4,500. Do me a favor and type in yes, why yes, if you can see this black line on your screen. It shows 4,500, and you can see the market touches it over and over and over and over and over and over again. We're going to talk about these types of patterns today. So we have an action-packed presentation scheduled for you, but your job as an investor is to identify these areas of U-turn. It builds a lot of confidence. And so one of the neat things that we said with Eddie is, listen, don't close your buy trade just yet, your sell trade just yet. I know you're going through a little bit of drawdown, but it's going to fall, and bingo. The market nailed 4,500. Eddie made a ton, and now the market's going to be on its way up. So we're going to talk to you today about how you can duplicate information and strategies just like this. But welcome to the presentation. Before we get started, it's important you understand there is risk involved. You should never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Always keep equity management in mind. Understand that we are not CTAs, which stands for Commodity Trading Advisors. And what that basically means is I'm going to share with you exactly what to do. Entry stops, limits, strategies, formulas, how to grow your accounts safely, how to expedite your returns. We're going to discuss trade copiers, indicators, systems, and so on and so forth. The big thing about these presentations is empowering you to make the proper decisions. What this ultimately means is that you have all the control over your own money. I'm not a money manager. I'm not going to be picking or choosing your lot sizes, but instead I will be empowering you to be educated to make a proper decision. It will be up to you to follow through with the trades if you want to, whether you buy, sell, or stay out. Now, for those of you who are joining us, and today's your first day, make sure you watch the previous 2 recordings. We have them on your resources, your 10K Insider, which will make sure everyone has their profiles today, okay? So my name is Joshua Martinez. I'm Market Traders Institute's Director of Client Success. Now, I've personally taken a $500 US initial deposit investment, and I've been able to turn it into over $39,000 US of profit from it. I'm a published author, international speaker, professional analyst. I've trained tens of thousands of investors from all around the world. I'm a full-time trader known throughout the Forex community as FX Pathfinder. Now, you may have already seen me, heard of me, or read about me in the following areas: Your Trading Edge, FX Trader Magazine, My FX Book, Equities.com, Forex Crunch, Executive Trader, TraderPlanet.com. I am the creator of the London Daybreak Strategy. I am the host of the Daily Forex Outlook. I am the host of the Market Traders Institute's Mastermind Program. I'm on my 18th month. That's a year and a half of consecutive gains. Ending this month, I'll be going on 19 months. I've made over 47,000 pips net in the last year and a half, and I'm winning over 70% of all my trades. The biggest thing in which I do is real simple. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to give it all I have and still fall short. I also know what it's like to succeed. I know how to help investors overcome their challenges. I articulate the message in a very simple way to where most people can understand. The biggest goal is this: you as a person, an individual, you're on this presentation for a reason, is to learn a life skill, whether you apply it full-time or part-time, to generate income. Now, this money is going to help you overcome basic challenges in this world, such as money for retirement, money for your family, money to improve your lifestyle, money to get out of debt, or money for simple rainy days or unexpected events. Let me ask this question. Type in me, M-E, into the question section box if the next 3 days would be absolutely worth your time if I could help you overcome at least 3 of these challenges which you face on a day-to-day basis. Type in me if you're kind of like, hey Josh, if you could teach me this life skill or build a foundation and really put into and spark the curiosity so I can begin to be intentional about taking a little bit more action about my education, and I can overcome at least 3 of these, it's well worth my next 3 days. We're only talking about an hour a day of investing into yourself for your personal growth to be able to accomplish amazing aspects. So for example, this is She. We've been talking about him for quite a bit. She came with 0 trading experience, started in February 2017, knowing absolutely nothing about the Forex market. Well, within 4 months, made over 30,000 US dollars. He doesn't have to go back to work. He's now retired, and he's working towards $150,000 US annual income. This is Daniel. Daniel started about 6 months ago, now is making over $10,600 US a month. This is Ernest. Ernest is from Norway. I had an interview with him. I'm going to try to show you his interview tomorrow. It's an amazing interview, and we think, because his town's so small, we think he's the only Forex trader in his town. He's made over $20,000 US thus far. This is Gerard. I'm interviewing Gerard today, so maybe if I can get we can edit the interview fast enough, I can probably show this to you on Friday. But Gerard joined MTI in January, and his first 3 months, or excuse me, his last 3 months, he generated over $24,500 US of profit. He's a part of my mastermind program, and he says I'm a teacher who cares about his students. And one of the things in which I really truly believe in is success is a formula, not a fantasy. And the biggest thing is this: whether you're looking to make $10,000 a week or $2,000 a month, I've helped investors accomplish what they're searching to accomplish. Let me ask this question before we get started. Let's just say Over the next 3 days, I'm able to build a foundation, educate you, share with you some strategies, trading opportunities, give you the resources, charts, how-to videos, tips, tricks, and nuggets, and then you start making 10,000 US dollars a month, but it takes you 6 months to do it. Type in me, M-E, if that would be worth your time. You're kind of like, hey Josh, if today is day one, but 6 months from now I'm making over $10,000 a month, this is well worth my time. See, everything comes down to investment, return on investment, and not just money, but also time. Okay, and so we're not asking investors to invest 10 hours a day. We're saying, hey, listen, this is 1 hour a day from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Even if you can't attend these live, be intentional about watching the recordings. Okay, so let's go ahead and review the first 2 days' agenda. And then what we're going to do as investors is we're going to discuss what we're going to be going over today, okay? So remember, day one, we went over our resources. We went over where to find your charts, what the Forex market is, your different lot sizes, how to read your charts, where to find brokers. We went over the London daybreak strategy, retirement plan, rituals, and we went looking for trades. Day two, I physically showed you, this was yesterday, how to open up a demo account. I showed you how simple and easy it is. I went to Forex.com. You can pick any broker you want. Forex.com just so happens to be a broker that I use. We talked about Googling it. We reviewed day one. We connected our demo account to the charting software. We reviewed the London daybreak strategy. We placed buy trades, sell trades, stops, limits, and pending orders, and we showed you how to navigate through the charting software. We did not get a chance to go over a trend line, so we're going to be doing that today. And so today is day three. We're going to review yesterday real briefly. We're going to be discussing fundamental announcements today. And then we're going to master counter trend line breaks. We're going to discuss larger time frames if there's time. And then we're also going to go through the growth formula. It's important that everyone begins to pick a day to say, this is when I'm making the money in which I want to make. Everyone in this room has an idea, and everyone in this room says to themselves, hey, look, I want to make $1,000 a month, or $5,000 a month, or $10,000 a month, or whatever that number is. What we're going to do today is we're going to give you the resources, the formula to go through the actual step-by-step process, and you as a trader are going to see how long it will take you to grow your money based upon a formula, okay? I already have the formula already drawn out, already have the mathematical equations. It's real simple. You just got to put your numbers in there. Once you do that, it will calculate and share with you the month-by-month growth plan so you can say, hey, I can make this money in 6 months. I can make this money in a year. I can make this money in 5 years. Whatever it is, it's important that you understand how long it will take you. That will build proper expectations, number one. Number two, it can help you understand that anything that you learn will be for the purpose of expediting your returns. So for example, let's just say you want to make $10,000 a month. Well, based upon your formula, it may take you 4 years to make $10,000 a month. But then it's going to be your job to sharpen your skill and to become a little bit more efficient to be able to shorten the time. So where you can say, well, if I do this, then instead of taking 4 years, it can take me less than 2 years. Type in a yes, why yes, so that makes a little bit of sense. We're going to go over that a little bit more in detail today. The biggest thing is that you need to have a goal. If you don't have a vision, if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a why, you don't have an end goal in mind of what you're trying to achieve, then you can just basically come in here, place a bunch of trades, and go nowhere. It's just kind of like one of those old sayings, like any road will get you there if you don't know where you're going. But if you know exactly where you're going, you want to get there faster and safer if you actually have an end goal in mind, which we're going to be discussing today. So let's go to the live market. Let's make sure everyone has their resources. Very, very important that you have your resources, okay? So number one, we need to make sure that everyone has access to their 10K Insider. Type in no, N-O, if you have not logged into your 10K Insider membership. Type in no, N-O, if you have not logged in here. If you have not logged in here, you are preventing yourself from being successful. What does that mean? Think about this. You're a professional athlete and you never hit the gym. You're a professional athlete and you never train. It's like, what are you doing? You're preventing yourself from achieving your true potential. Here is a link in the question section box. If you haven't created your profile, I'm going to send you this link. Go ahead and click on number 2. When you signed up for your 5 for 5, it said, here are your next steps. Go ahead and do this now. Access your 10K Insider Club. Log into the 10K Insider Club. I gave you the link in the question section box. Go ahead and do so now. Type in done, D-O-N-E, after you created your profile and you are in the 10K Insider. Type in done, D-O-N-E, when you've clicked on that link in the question section box and you filled out step number 2, and this is where you're at. If you know nothing about the Forex market, absolutely nothing about the Forex market, this is what you need to do. Oh, and if you're watching this recording at home, everyone, check your email because we sent you this information in email as well, okay? So, if you know nothing about the Forex market, you have to complete So You Want to Be a Trader Season 1. I've created for you 11 total videos. These are simple videos, like 5 minutes or less, that brings you up to speed. Type in me, M-E, if you started watching these videos. Type in me, M-E, if you started watching these videos. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Or do they help you? Do they not help you? These are to bring you up to speed and kind of share with you the basics of becoming a Forex investor. Perfect. John says, I've seen them all. Kashif says, yes, I watched them and they're awesome. Arthur says, I love them. They help. Ralph says, I've done them before. Beautiful. DUM says, they're quite helpful. Beautiful. Anthony says, easy to watch and understand. Perfect. Now, make sure you go through that. Those are for those of you that kind of need the basics. Now, the retirement plan, we're going to be going over this today, but you may want to download that. This whole section is real simple. You click on Josh's retirement plan, and it gives you the ability to download your free copy over here. What you want to do is you may want to take a look at your monthly giveaways. We have the month of May giveaway, which is your Grade Your Trade checklist, and then your June is your trading blueprint. So those are pretty helpful. We're going to be uploading July, more than likely on the last day of this month. You have your 5 for 5 links. This is where you can come join us tomorrow and Friday. We also put in your recorded sessions here. So you have day 1 and day 2 already there. This is your membership hub. If you haven't created your profile, you're not going to be able to access this information. So make sure you create your profile. I have checklists for you. Download your 3 steps to trading success. Download your London daybreak strategy. Once you click on it, it's going to show you how to download it. Your 3 steps to success will give you the questions to ask your broker, show you where to find your charts, and it'll give you the 5 steps of placing a trade correctly. Direction, entry, stop, limit, and having fun. It's very, very important that you as an investor understand these steps. Your London daybreak strategy, we went through it yesterday. You may want to watch yesterday's video, the recorded video. If you haven't, it's day 2, and then you can follow along with your checklist. Now, let's go over the charts. Now, if you do not have your charts, you need to download your chart. You need to create your profile and do the charts right now. Unlock Smart Trader Access now. So let me log out. Type in no, N-O, if you have not created your profile for your free charts. Type in no, N-O, if you have not created your profile for your free charts. If you haven't created your profile, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this link in the question section box. I'm sending this to you right now. Click on this link in the question section box. type in done, D-O-N-E, after you've created your profile. It's really straightforward. You're going to click on join for free. It's free. Okay, these are internet-based charts. This will give you the ability to trade from your charts. You will have the tools, you get the data feed, you get access to currency pairs, indicators. You're going to want these charts. This is a social trading platform, which means that you can download trading ideas from other traders and it can connect you with other traders. It's a wonderful resource. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in. So if you haven't logged in, go ahead and do so. What's neat about this is this works with PCs. It works with Macs. It works through your phone, your tablets, you name it. It's direct linked. Now what does that mean? If you work off your computer, at home and then you make some changes, if you go log into a different computer, the changes will be updated, okay? Now, if you use your phone, it will work through your phone. If you make some changes through your phone, it will update it on your computer. It's real time and it works through the cloud. It's really a wonderful smart technology. It's not very difficult. What we did is give a nice little walkthrough of it yesterday in day 2, so make sure you go through that. Did anyone connect their trading accounts or demo accounts to this? Type in me, M-E, if you connected your demo account. Type in me if you're kind of like, hey Josh, I was here with you yesterday. I opened up the trading account like you did. I followed the steps and then I connected it and I placed a couple fake trades. Good. So that's Paul, that's Jennifer, that's Ian, that's James, that's Tomas, that's Jay, that's Bjorn. Beautiful. Okay. That was the homework. The homework was get a demo account, connect it, place a few trades, okay? So whether you win or whether you lose, play some practice trades, get used to the technology. What I want you to try to do is navigate through the trading ideas. The trading ideas is really amazing experience. It gives you the ability to see what other investors are looking at. So if you want to see what really fantastic investors are doing, what you can do is you can kind of click on these ideas. They're real-time charts. You can zoom in and zoom out. What happens here is they will post an idea. They will say, this is what I think the market's going to do. You see this little play button? You press play. It will share with you where they posted and where it is. So for example, here's the pound Aussie. This trader said 1, 2, 3 days ago, we think the market's going to go up. Since then, they have been correct. Go ahead and type in a yes, why yes, if you can see that this trading idea is working very, very well. This trading idea doesn't cost anything, and if I click this little download button, you see that little download? If I download it, what's neat about it, when you create your profile, now that trading idea is now on my charting software, and all the analysis is done. So it's not like I have to duplicate it at all. So literally, when you have this social network, you can download other traders' charts if you like it, and then you can work it, which is really, really cool. Okay, now, if you have no idea what this is, watch video 2. Today's agenda is pretty jam-packed, so we got to talk about it. Let's make sure that you have some strong takeaways. Let's go over, we're going to get into counter trend line breaks today, but before we do, let's make sure you understand your lot sizes. Remember your different lot sizes. We talked about this on day 1. You have a micro lot, a mini lot, and a standard lot. Micro lot is when you invest $20 per trade. It means every pip's worth 10 cents. A mini lot is when you invest $200 per trade. Every pip is worth $1 on average. When you make 200 pips, if you trade a standard position or standard lots, when you invest $2,000 per trade, every pip's worth $10. So 100 pips in one day means that you could make $10 with a micro lot, $100 with a mini lot, or $1,000 with a standard lot. You can trade as many lot sizes as you want. You can mix them. You can do demos. You can do lives. Let's talk about fundamental announcements. Okay. So that was the recap of day 1 and day 2. Type in me, M-E, if you have no idea how fundamental announcements work or how to read them or where to find them. Type in me if you're kind of like, I have no idea what fundamentals are. I don't know where to go to get them, and I don't know how to read them or how they impact the market. Okay, so this is what I want everyone to do. Just pay attention. You may want to grab your pens and paper and just kind of just listen, okay? And I'm going to bring you to a website. I'm going to give you that link in just a few moments. Fundamental announcements. What they are is they are announcements, scheduled announcements in advance from countries around the world. Countries and companies are very similar. If you own a business, basically what you look at in your business is the same things in which a country will look at in their country, okay? So you monitor, as a company owner, you monitor how much money you're making or how much money you're losing. A country would do the same thing with exports and imports. As a company, you would monitor how many employees you have or how many employees you had to hire or fire. A country will do the same thing. A company has a president or a leader. A country has a president or a leader. Okay? A company has a C-level or executives that kind of run the day-to-day. Countries have a C-level or executives that run the day-to-day. They're known as senators or mayors or parliament, etc. Okay? Countries and companies are very, very similar. Now, what's neat about countries is countries cannot go out of business. Type in yes, why yes, you understand that countries cannot go out of business. See, if a company runs out of money, they go out of business. But if a country runs out of money, they just print more money. It's to stay in business. Type in yes if that makes sense. So one of the big reasons why many traders and many people like the Forex market is because they're trading with a currency that they know that cannot go out of business, which really means unlimited amount of success. So what you do is you monitor these fundamental announcements or these announcements from countries that report on certain sections of performance. And based upon those announcements, you'll make a decision to buy or sell. Now the big question is, how do fundamental announcements affect the market? If this was 20 years ago, fundamental announcements would control the market. Type in yes, why yes, you understand that if this was 20 years ago, fundamental announcements would control the market. You would not do anything unless you understood what fundamental announcements were. Why? 20 years ago, technology was not what it is today. 20 years ago, cell phones were just barely coming out. Internet was still dial-up. Technology, as in platforms and candlestick formations, was not available. Computers were not a household item 20 years ago. In today's technology, in 2017, the reality of this is there are high-speed internet everywhere. We have phones that have wireless internet. We have charting software that now gives us the same access as the professionals. The internet has become the ultimate equalizer, which has allowed you and I to be on the same playing field as the professionals and the big banks. Technology now drives the market, specifically technical analysis and candlestick formations. It's very, very hard for an existing investor to make that shift, but it is the reality of today's market, okay? So fundamental announcements will help you generate income within a 3 to 7 hour period. You may want to write that down. If you track fundamental announcements, they usually push the market short term between 3 hours and 7 hours, and then technicals will take over again. Type in yes, why yes, understand that if you monitor fundamental announcements, it is a short-term trading style. It's designed to enter in today, exit today, and get paid today. You will not be using fundamental announcements to make trading plans for weeks and months. That's not how it is anymore, okay? So where do you go? Well, you go to, there's different avenues to choose from, but one of the areas which I like is forextips.com. And if you go to forextips.com, Underneath Forex Tools, there's what's called Economic Calendar. I'm going to give you this link in the question section box. If you're watching this recording at home, just go to forextips.com, highlight over Forex Tools, you see your Economic Calendar. Now, this Economic Calendar is kind of like a menu. It's going to let you know what's coming, what's up to date. It's going to say, hey, these are the upcoming announcements, and these are the countries, and these are the currencies. Let me make sure I thoroughly explain to you how to read this. So this is in GMT time, which means it's more the standard within the industry, okay? There's other websites like Forex Factory and myfxbook.com which will provide you time zones within your time zone. But like, for example, I'm Eastern Standard, so I have to take this number -4. But this is GMT time. But let's just make sure you understand how this works. Left-hand side is the time of the announcement. It's going to let you know the time and the date of the announcement. Then you're going to have a flag. If you hover your mouse over the flag, it will tell you exactly what country the announcement is affecting. Then it will give you the actual event. It will tell you what the event is. But most of the time, you're going to look at this, you're going to say, I don't even know what this event even means. Well, if you want to know some detail, this is what I really like about forextips.com, is if you left-click over the event, it'll give you a drop-down, and it'll tell you exactly what it is. It'll tell you how it affects the market, and it'll tell you what to anticipate and what to expect. And then you also have this little history button that will show you the past announcements and the results. That's very, very important. We're going to talk about this in a few moments. Go ahead and type in yes, why yes. You understand that forextips.com will literally share with you and educate you based upon a click of a button. This is what the announcement is. This is how to read it. This is the past history. It's all in one place. It's a one-stop shop. It's really, really unique and cool. Okay. And again, this doesn't cost anything. This is free. You go to forextips.com, Economic Calendar. Now, how do you know which announcements to monitor? Well, I want you to think about it like this. If you're running a company, there's going to be some announcements that really mean nothing to investors. And there will be some announcements which mean a whole lot to investors. Let me give you an exaggerated example. You have a company, and you have to report on how much money you made. If you are an investor, you're going to say, hey, if this company is making money, I'm going to invest into it. So there's going to be a tremendous amount of people that want to buy it. If you are a company and you're losing money, and that's your announcement, it says, hey, I'm going to sell my shares because why? They're losing money. I'm out. Same exact scenario within the Forex market with countries. Now, there's also announcements that no one really cares about. Here's an exaggerated example. Imagine that you're a company and you have to report on how much toilet paper you have in the building. For whatever reason, it's not important, but you have to do it. It's kind of like, hey, we have 2 pallets of toilet paper in the building. No investor really cares about that, but you have to report on it, which makes it a very low impact announcement. It's an exaggerated form, but it kind of makes sense. Now, how do you know which announcements are important? How do you know which announcements are not important? You see this volatility section here? You see this volatility section? You have what's called low volatility, you have moderate volatility, and then you have a high volatility. 1 exclamation mark for low, 2 exclamation marks for moderate, 3 exclamation marks for high. You want to pay attention to the ones that say high impact. Type in a yes, why yes, you understand that you want to look for the announcements that show red, high volatility, expectations. These will move the markets the most. Specifically, on average, 100 pips. Write that down. On average, 100 pips within 3 hours. On average, 100 pips within 3 hours. Okay? Write that down. 100 pips within 3 hours is the average movement of a high impact announcement. A moderate impact announcement is between 30 and 50 pips within 3 hours. Write that down. A moderate impact is 30 to 50 pips within 3 hours. A low impact is less than 30 pips. The biggest question that I get when I train investors is, hey Josh, there's a fundamental announcement coming out. Should I close my trade? Hey Josh, there's a fundamental announcement coming out. Should I wait until after the announcement to get in? Those are really important questions to ask. Here's the answer to them. If you are trading with a stop of less than 100 pips, you need to close your trade if there's a high impact announcement. If your stop is larger than 100 pips, you should be fine. If you're trading with a stop of less than 100 pips and there's a high impact announcement, you got to get out of the market. Otherwise, it could go either way. You could get stopped out really, really fast, or you can get stopped out and the market goes your way. Okay. If you are trading with a stop of larger than 100 pips, you should be fine. Type in yes if that makes sense. If you have a stop less than 100 pips, fundamental announcements are going to basically affect your trades. If you have a stop larger than 100 pips, then you should be okay. You probably want to write in 100 pips, stop larger than 100 pips when fundamental announcements coming. Star it, circle it. Very, very important. Now, how do you read this? You have what's called an actual, then you have what's called a consensus, and then you have a previous. I'm going to educate you right now very quickly, and then we're going to get into counter trend line breaks, but I'm going to educate you right now in regards to the common mistake of new traders. Do me a favor, type in yes if you can see that this number is green and bold, and this number is just normal text. This number is green and bold. This one's normal text. Sometimes you'll also see like a red number of the actual. Let me explain to you how this works. The actual is the factual announcement. That is the announcement that comes out. So for example, today at 1800 was basically 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Excuse me. No, that's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time. So at 2 p.m. Eastern time, the interest rates will come out. So at 2 p.m. Eastern time for the United States, USA, United States, 2 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to have a high impact announcement. This will show on real time. Once you see this, this will be a real time fill. Inside the actual, we'll share with you exactly what the announcement is. Now, the consensus is a highly educated guess by the industry. Basically, there are some very intelligent algorithm and analysts out there that will monitor the economics of a country, and they will say, based upon this and this and this and this and this, this is what we think the announcement will be. The consensus means absolutely nothing to the decision making. Type in yes if you understand that the consensus means absolutely nothing in the decision making. So whenever you hear the news say, hey, this was greater than the consensus, that doesn't mean buy. Oh, this was less than what was expected, that does not mean sell. So when you see green, the actual, it's highlighted green, that all that means is it was better than the consensus. If you see red, that means it was worse than the consensus. If you see it's normal text, it means it's equal to the consensus. It means nothing. That is not an investment decision. Do not make that mistake. Many traders will look at that and just say, oh, it's better that I'm going to buy, and they lose a ton of money. Don't make that mistake, okay? Now, what's important is this. This is what's important, the history. When you click on, so for example, at 2 p.m. Eastern time today, we are going to have the Fed interest rate decision coming out. If you want to read it, go ahead and read what it is, but basically it's a high impact announcement. Now, we're going to expect the market to move about 100 pips on average within 3 hours. Now, how this works is the following. Trading fundamental announcements, write this down please, requires, if you want easy fundamental announcement trading, requires 3-month high, 3-month low. What does that mean? Okay, think about this for a moment. I want everyone to imagine for just a moment that there are 10,000 traders in one room. 10,000 traders in one room. An announcement's getting ready to come out. And What needs to happen is all 10,000 traders, the majority of them, all need to come to an agreement to either buy or sell, but they all have their own opinion. You, as a person, are trying to make a decision to buy or sell based upon what the 10,000 people are going to do, okay? So this is how this works. If a fundamental announcement comes out, and it is a 3-month high, which means the numbers are greater than the last 3 months, okay? So beat the last 3 months, so it's a 4-month high. If the numbers are greater than the last 3 months, there's a good chance that all 10,000 people are going to say, hey, that's really good for the country. Let's all buy at the same time. Type in yes if that makes sense. So when we look at the Fed interest rates, we say to ourselves, okay, well, here in June was 1.25, and May was 1%, and March was 1%. If we have a higher interest rate, then that means it's real easy for all 10,000 traders to say, hey, that's really good for the United States. Let's all buy U.S. dollars. And then U.S. dollars strengthen. Now, let's look at the opposite effect of that. Let's just say for whatever reason, the Fed interest rate falls below 1%. Well, that would make it a 3-month low, okay? That means that it is lower than the last 3 months. Basically, it says the United States is on a decline, so all 10,000 traders, it's easy for them to all get on the same page and say, hey, let's sell counter trend line breaks bearish towards the south. Or sorry, let's sell U.S. dollars bearish towards the south because it's real easy for everyone to get on the same page. Here's the issue. If the market does not establish a 3-month high or a 3-month low, and let's just say this goes back to 1%, that basically causes the market to whip. And what a whiplash is when you have all 10,000 traders doing whatever they want. No one is really on the same page. And what happens is half the traders will buy and half the traders will sell. And it will cause the market to whip. It will go up and it will go down. It will go up and it will go down. It will go up and it will go down. Type in yes, why yes, if that makes a little bit of sense. Okay. So fundamental announcements, recap. Well, now we're going to get into mastering counter trend line breaks. Okay. Recap. You want to find fundamental announcements, go to forextips.com. It's a really wonderful resource. Click on the economic calendar. We gave you the link in the question section box. Number 2, fundamental announcements are just like country announcements. They report on the status of a country. They are scheduled in advance. You can plan around them. You want to trade high impact announcements, or at least be aware of them. High impact announcements will move the market between 3 and 7 hours on average. High impact announcements will move the market on average 100 pips. You have 3 areas in which you monitor: the actual, the consensus, and the previous. The actual is the factual data that comes out. The consensus is a highly educated guess, means nothing in the decision making, and the previous is what's very important. You want the actual to be larger than the last 3 months numbers or less than the last 3 months numbers before you make a decision. Type in ME if this overview was a little bit helpful. Type in ME if this overview is a little bit helpful. I would suggest that you watch this recording. We will be putting into your 10K Insider Club membership, so make sure you watch it. I would review this as many times as you can. This will kind of give you an idea and help you with understanding how the markets impact. Now, what type of trader is affected by announcements? It's real simple. If you trade with a stop less than 100 pips, you need to be aware of fundamental announcements, and you need to understand that fundamental announcements are going to affect your trading. If you have a stop larger than 100 pips, you'll be just fine. Okay, let's get into mastering counter trend line breaks. So, counter trend line breaks. Let's go ahead and create a new workspace. We're going to click on this we're going to log into our smarttrader.com charts. Click on add workspace, new workspace. We're going to call this counter trend line. And we're going to use this off of the Let's go GBP CAD. GBP CAD. When educating investors, what I like to do is show you based upon a uptrend first, and then we'll get into a downtrend. Let's go find an uptrend and now show you the downtrend. The reason why we do an uptrend first is because it's easy for your brain to understand how counter trend lines work. Okay, so here's the deal. If you're going to be a trader, if you're going to analyze, and you can use this outside the Forex market, it works the same exact way, okay? Here's the deal. If you're going to be an investor, and you're going to monitor charts, you have no choice but to believe in patterns. Now, specifically, the market making higher highs and higher lows. So when the market falls, okay, if the market falls bearish, it's going to make lower lows and lower highs. Let's see. Try to make this simple. There we go. Trend line, beautiful. Trend line, higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. I want to illustrate this first. Perfect. If the market goes up, we're going to focus on an uptrend first. The market's going to make higher highs and higher lows. Now, your job as an investor is very straightforward. In an uptrend, you need to look for the low prices to buy. The problem with most investors is they buy the market too early, or they buy what's called the left side of the U-turn, which really means this. They buy the market early, and then the market goes against them first before it goes for them. What that really means is you're experiencing what's called drawdown. Now, drawdown is what causes new traders to quit. And drawdown is what causes new traders to close out of their trades early, only to watch the market go their way. So what that really means is the following. Some of you are active investors and some of you are just beginning. If you're an active investor, you may be stuck in this habit. And I just want to identify you because this may help with the solution. Type in me, M-E, if you either A, close out of the market when the market goes against you due to fear of you losing, or B, you have a tight stop and you get stopped out only to watch the market continue to go your way. You're kind of like, hey, I just took a loss, but if I would have held on to my trade a few more hours, I would have made profit. It would have gone my way. Type in me. You're not uncommon, okay? You're not uncommon at all. Matter of fact, that's just a novice mistake. It just really means two things. Number one, you're a really great analyst. Because if you're kind of like, hey, when I enter into the market, I lose first, and then the market goes my way, you're predicting the market amazing, which is very, very important to understand. But number two, it just means that you're a little bit too excited. It just means that you're entering in a little bit too early, and you're only a few hours away of fixing your issue. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do is we're going to implement counter trend line breaks. And counter trend line breaks is specifically designed to help you enter in on the right side of the U-turn. See, the right side of the U-turn is when you enter into the market buying when the market is actually going up. Many of you are buying the market at low prices, which is really important, but you're buying the market when the market's still going down. That's a problem. So this is what we're going to do to fix it. Here are the requirements. Number one, the market needs to be in an uptrend. What that means specifically is the market is making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows is in the buy zone. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Number 2, if market is going up, wait for 3 bearish candlesticks. Wait for 3 bearish candlesticks. Draw a counter trend line, tracking the 3 bear candlesticks. If market closes above the counter trend line, buy the market. Number 3, stop. Place the stop 10 pips below last low of U-turn. 4, reward or your limit will be 3 times the risk. Excuse me. Okay, these are the rules. And let's probably tighten that up a little bit. Probably put that at 16. There we go. So number 1, the market needs to be making higher highs and higher lows. Number 2, the market's going up. You got to wait for 3 bearish candlesticks. Draw a counter trend line break and then buy the market. Stop goes 10 pips below the last low U-turn. Limit will be 3 times the risk. So let me walk you through this. If the market is dipping bearish, it's very straightforward. You're going to buy the market when or if the market is able to close above a counter trend line. So notice how this market is pulling back. And if it breaks above, you buy it. So for example, in real time, okay, this is how this is going to work. The market pulls back, is making higher highs and higher lows. You get 1, 2, 3 bearish candlesticks. You're going to bring in a trend line. It's going to be what's known as a counter trend line because it's going to counter the main trend. When or if the market counters, or when the market breaks and closes above that counter trend line, okay, just like this, that's when you say, hey, there has been a transfer of power. The short-term move is now over. I'm now going to buy the market. What you will then do is look at the last low of U-turn, and you will say, if this is the last low U-turn, which means to the left and to the right, which is higher than the central wick low, 10 pips below there, so 30, 20, that will be the stop. So the stop would be, okay, so I'm going to type this in, market buy. I'm going to say entry is your counter trend line break bullish in the buy zone. That's done. Okay. Your stop will go 10 pips below last low of U-turn. And then whatever your risk is, let's just say your risk is 50 pips, whatever it is. Your reward or your limit, which is your automatic exit for profit, will be 3 times whatever your risk is. And your risk is the measurement from your entry to where you have your stop, which basically means that you're going to lose this much money. You're going to quantify how much you're willing to risk. So your reward or your limit will be 3 times the risk. So the reward will be 150 pips. Why do we do this? Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply this into the live market in just a moment. But why do we do this? Okay, we do this because of the following. If you're brand new and you're just starting out, more than likely you're going to be terrible. You're going to be a terrible trader, like an absolutely terrible trader. You're going to make novice mistakes. You're going to make simple mistakes. You're going to want to press the buy button but accidentally press the sell button. You just make novice mistakes. Type in a yes, why yes, if you understand that when you first start something, especially investments, typically you're a disaster and then you become a master. First the disaster, then the master. First the contender, then the champion. You don't just walk into this becoming a super expert. You expedite the program or you expedite the process by doing stuff like this. You come learn from someone who's already made all these mistakes that can tell you don't do this, don't do this, do this. So you can expedite the process of becoming a good trader, okay? Now, because of this, one of the habits in which you can start out with right away, which will truly benefit you, is by stacking the odds in your favor. Basically, we want to make it very hard for you not to grow your money. So how do we do that? Well, if we can force you to win 3 times the amount that you lose, if your limit is always 3 times your risk, then what happens is you stack the odds in your favor. That means you will lose $1, but when you win, you make $3, which means you have to lose 3 times just to equal one of your wins. That means if you just win 2 trades, you have to lose 6 times in a row just to break even. If you win 3 trades in a row, you have to lose 9 trades in a row just to break even. Now what that does is it really means this. Out of 10 trades, if you can just win 3 out of 10 trades, you will put money in the bank. Type in me, M-E, if you like the idea of saying, all I got to do is win 3 out of 10 trades and I can make a profit. Type in me, M-E, if you're kind of like, hey, Josh, I can win more than 3 trades by just guessing. Well, you're right, because you can only buy and you can only sell, which means you have a 50% chance of being right, and then you have a 50% chance of being wrong just by guessing. Now, if we can couple that with a solid entry strategy that confirms the direction and couple that with saying, hey, I'm winning 3 times the amount that I'm losing, then you're in a really great spot to start out with. That makes sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. David says, not me, 7 out of 10 minimum to be happy. Sure, everyone has different standards, but what I'm stating here, David, is this. As a new investor, what you want to do is make it easy for yourself. I know a lot of traders who win 70% of their trades and they still lose money. Equity management will play a big part of your success, especially if you're new. Okay? So here's the deal. The deal works just like this. Let me walk you through this process of how this works. I'm going to give you some ideal scenarios and then I want you to practice. Okay? The market has pushed up. Okay? The market has pushed up towards the north. 1, 2, 3. Do me a favor, type in yes. Why yes? If you can see that you have 1, 2, 3 bearish candlesticks. All you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, here is my counter trend line. Okay, you're just going to draw a line across the 1, 2, 3 bear candlesticks. If the market closes above, that shows you there's a transfer of power. It means the short-term move is now over. The buyers are now taking control. It's time for you to buy the market. Now remember what we did yesterday. We created our, we connected our trading accounts. Remember that? Yesterday we connected the trading account and then we showed you how to place the buy trades. Because of the time, I can't show you how to do that today, but review day 2. It's in your 10K Insider Club, okay? So go through your day 2. It's in your Josh's 5 for 5 recording sessions. Watch yesterday. I show you how to connect a demo account to here so you can actually place trades. 1, 2, 3 bear candlesticks. There's the break. That's the buy. You're going to buy the market there. Now you tell me. I want to know the investors who are paying attention. If that's the buy trade, okay, if I'm buying the market there, how many pips does the stop go of my last low of U-turn? Not this low, but this low. See how this has 1, 2 candles to the left and 1, 2 candles to the right? 10 pips below. Write that down if you didn't know the answer. 6431. 6431. 6421, okay? So the stop price is 10 pips below last low of U-turn. Very, very important, last low of U-turn. Now, you can use this little measurement tool, lower left-hand side says measure. Left click and hold from your entry, measure it to your stop. If you look at your left-hand side up here, you're going to see range. It says pips. Just measure that out. That's a risk of about 76 pips. We'll just call that 75 pips for the risk to make it simple. Risk would be 75 pips. If our risk is 75 pips, what is our reward? Our reward is how many times our risk? Reward is how many times the risk? Reward is 3 times the risk, which means the limit is going to be what? 225 pips from entry. So we're buying the market. What we're going to do is make it real simple for ourselves. We're going to take our measurement tool, and from the entry, we're going to measure up, and we're going to see 225 pips. 6723, 6723. So 6723. 6723 is going to be the limit, and let's see what happens. Okay? Now, market's going to move in waves. It's going to make higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, and the market is expected to push. The market is expected to wave. Go ahead and type in yes if you're starting to see the wave movement. Okay? Does everybody see the wave movement? Now, it's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean the market's going against you. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose anything. It just means the market's moving in waves, higher highs and higher lows. Markets don't move in straight lines. Let it do its thing, and bingo, there's the limit. Does everybody see that? Hit your exit. This is 225 pips. What that really means is if you're trading an average pip size of $10, that's 2,250 US dollars with an average pip size of $10. Okay? Now, above and beyond that, here's the biggest thing. In regards to re-entry opportunities, a lot of traders like to buy in at low prices and close out at high prices along the way. My question to you is really simple and straightforward. Okay? My question to you is really simple and straightforward. If all you had to do was buy counter trend line breaks bullish towards the north as the market's making higher highs and higher lows, and this was your job, you had literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times or 5 entries that you could have bought to make 225 pips or along the way. Type in me, M-E, if you can see how this is possible. How long did it take? From the entry to the exit was 103 hours. So we take 103 hours, divide that by 24 hours in a day. It took just shy of 5 days. 4 days, basically just shy of 4.5 days. Okay, so let's bring this to the live market. And once we bring this to the live market, I want to just show you high-level view. Just want to show you high-level view of how the market moves. You can see here clearly, look at all these counter trend line breaks. This works very, very well. Look at all these counter trend line breaks on the way up. Counter trend line break, counter trend line break, counter trend line break, counter trend line break, counter trend line break. All you have to do is buy these counter trend line breaks on the way up as the market's making higher highs and higher lows. Type in me if you think you can do something like this. You're kind of like, hey Josh, this doesn't seem too difficult. This actually seems relatively simple. Why don't you try this? Why don't you look? Why don't we do this? Why doesn't the homework be that the next 24 hours before you join me tomorrow, why don't you focus in on just practicing counter trend line breaks, finding trends, and seeing how the market moves. Counter trend line breaks work the same exact way on the way down as they do on the way up. When you have 3 bullish retracements, you're going to bring in counter trend lines, and your job is to sell them on the way down. You can make money on the way down just as easy as when the market goes up. Your job is to buy low and sell high, or to sell high and buy low. Now, here's the question. Did you learn anything today? Did you learn anything today? We went over a lot. We went over fundamental announcements. We went over mastering counter trend line breaks. We went over, tomorrow we're going to start out with picking the dates of the retirement. I wanted to do that today, but we ran out of time. We went over the resources, make sure that everyone has their free charts. We went over the resources, making sure that everybody has access to their 10K Insider. Your homework, if you haven't already done so, is to create your demo account with whatever broker you choose. I use Forex.com, but you can use whatever you use. Okay, I'm not an IB introducing broker. Connect it to your charting software. If you don't know how to do that, watch day 2, and then practice counter trend line breaks. Practice placing a couple of trades. Go ahead and open up a couple currency pairs. Practice counter trend line breaks. You're going to be pretty pleased with what you see, okay? Now, I've been receiving a tremendous amount of questions, so what I want to do is address the questions about the trade copier. Type in me, M-E, if you're kind of like, hey Josh, what's the trade copier? I've been seeing it, and I got a few questions about it. Okay, that's a lot of you. So let me make sure you thoroughly understand how the trade copier works, and then we're going to do a little Q&A, okay? Now, basically, it works like this. I'm a successful trader. I've spent the last 18 months of having consecutive gains, which means I've had month after month after month of net winning months. I've made over 47,000 pips. My track record is on the internet for you to see. It's updated every 5 minutes in real time. You can see here it's updated 3 minutes ago. For the traders who signed up in the beginning of this week to the trade copier, this week we've closed out with 238 pips, which means that since Monday, if you're trading a mini lot, you've already made over 238 pips. I mean $238. If you're trading a standard lot, you've already made over $2,380. For the traders who have signed up the beginning of the month, they are already positive 1,300 pips, which means at a mini lot or a $200 investment per trade, they have already made $1,300. Standard lot investors have already generated over 13,000 US dollars this month so far. The trade copier works like this. It's really simple. And by the way, we have over 1,000 plus traders on the trade copier, and they absolutely love it. So I'm a trader, and I trade every single day. It's real simple. I have 2 little boys. I got a 2-year-old boy and a 9-month-old boy. They keep me up all night long, so it's easy for me to always look at the charts. I love trading. I'm very passionate about it. It's just a strong calling. It's just one of the things that I'm good at is making consistent returns. So we have this trade copier, and it's real simple. If you have a trading account, it can be live or demo. It's up to you. But you can connect your trading account to the trade copier. The trade copier is connected to my account, which really means if I make pips, you make pips. So it works like this. I average 2,000 pips a month. That's what I've been doing for the last 18 months. That's my average, a little bit over 2,000 pips. My question to you is this. Do you understand that if you have the trade copier and I make 2,000 pips next month, that you will make 2,000 pips if it's connected? Type in yes if you understand that. If I make 2,000 pips next month, like I've been averaging over the last 18 months, you will make 2,000 pips. Your computer does not have to be on. It's all cloud-based. You don't have to place a single trade. All you have to do is give permission to the trade copier to duplicate what I'm doing. You assign your lot size. You can mirror what I'm doing. It works risk versus risk. You can mirror my risk so you don't have to over leverage. You can pick your lot sizes. You can exclude what currency pairs you don't want the trade copier to trade, and so on and so forth. But you can connect a demo account. You can connect a live account to it. It's really a very straightforward, easy, smart technology. We have a wonderful onboarding process of how it works. The trade copier is intended to automatically follow my trades. It doesn't matter if you're watching your trading account. It doesn't matter if you're sleeping. It doesn't matter if you're home. It doesn't matter if you're working. It doesn't matter if you're on vacation. You don't even have to turn on your computer, and if you're connected to the trade copier, it will duplicate my trades. That's what it's intended for. Type in yes if you understand. It is designed to duplicate everything that I am doing. I am the trader. When I place a trade, the trade copier will copy that trade if you give it permission. Okay? It can be completely automated. I've made over 47,000 pips net, and I'm winning over 70% of all of my trades. Type in me, M-E, if you'd be interested in finding out more information so that you can make an intentional decision on whether or not you want this. Okay, very straightforward. I put a value on this of $19.95. It's basically $2,000. That's not what I charge. It's just basically what other people charge for a trade copier service. They literally will charge over $1,000+ a month, and it's month to month. I don't do that, and I'm going to explain to you the reasons why. But let me first kind of share with you what you get. So you get access to the same trades that I place. It can be placed in a demo account or live accounts, your choice. What's neat about this is if I win, you win. If I lose, you lose. But I haven't had a net losing month in 18 months. It's quick start training guides. You get a video tutorial that shows you exactly how to connect your trading account. Many people connect their accounts in less than a day. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. Like I said, if you did it on Monday, you have already over 100 pips. Matter of fact, if you give you the exact details, if you did it on Monday, you already have over 238 pips made, which means at a mini lot, you're already up to over $200. At a standard lot, you've already made over $2,000. We have what's called a VIP client success team. It's ready to help you should you have any questions. You basically get priority access and priority customer service. Okay. Now, the biggest thing is this. I don't charge $2,000 for this a month. That's not what I do. But let me just kind of ask the question of, what if I did? What would you have to get if you paid $2,000? What would you have to get in return to really make it worth your while? And so I'm going to ask you a couple questions to kind of help you understand if this is worth it to you. All I want you to do is put your investment caps on and look at this as an investment. How much do you need to make in return? So let's ask the question. What if all this trade copier did for you was allow you to strategically compound and reinvest your money to where within about 6 to 12 months you were making $20,000 a month, month after month after month? Would that be worth the investment? Yes or no? What if all this program did for you was allow you to obtain consistent, reliable income to where you can begin to plan and vacations, and you can travel, and you're generating consistent, reliable income to where you can finally have like the confidence to go buy that new vehicle you're looking at, or being able to help out a family member, or just simply just take the financial burden of where my next income source is going to come from. If all it did was that, would that be worth the investment? Stop and really think about it. And if all this really did for you was just allow you to get an inside view of how a professional investor manages their trades on a day-to-day basis, so you can see firsthand what it takes to be a successful investor without having to spend tens of thousands of dollars worth of education and training and resources and software, that finally gave you the life skill so that you could structure your retirement in the next 12 months, would that be worth the investment? Yes or yes? Well, the neat thing about this is I'm running a 48-hour special. It's my way to give back to you. I understand many of you are being intentional and investing into your education and into your mind. I appreciate you taking the time to come to these presentations. So the first time ever, I'm going to be offering the trade copier to the public. I used to have investors for this whole year. I had investors enroll to my mastermind program, which is basically a $5,000 investment before they got access to this. Now I'm going to open this up to the public, okay? And so to celebrate that, what we're going to be doing is running a 48-hour special. But basically, you enroll for 1 month, you get 1 month free. It's $199 a month. This is what I want everyone to do, okay? I want you to take a look at your question section box. I want you to do this right now. I want you to click on this link in the question section box right now. Go ahead and type in yes, why yes, if you've clicked on the link and has brought you to this page. Click on the link, type in yes, why yes, if you clicked on the link in the question section box and has brought you to this page. If you are watching this recording to get to this page, what you need to do is go to your 10K Insider Club, and what you need to do is click on the resource, Josh's Trade Copier. Once you do that, it will pop up on the upper right-hand side. You can access the copier promotion inside your 10K Insider. Now, what this is, you pay $199. Now, I'm averaging 2,000 pips a month. If you just trade 2 micro lots, which is a $40 investment per trade, that's it, just 2 micro lots, you're going to make an average of $400 as long as I hit my numbers. Type in yes, why yes, if you understand that even if you just trade 2 micro lots, that's it, just 2 micro lots, you're still going to make $400 a month as long as I hit my numbers that I've been doing for the last 18 months. If you trade 3 micro lots, you're going to make $600 a month if I hit my numbers. If you trade a mini lot, you're going to make $2,000 a month as long as I hit my numbers. If you trade a standard lot, you're going to make an average of $20,000 a month as long as I hit my numbers. I'm running this specials for 48 hours only. Okay, it's $199. You get 2 total months. Then it will go to a month-to-month subscription. You can cancel anytime. It's $199 a month. I want to give you this introductory offer. It's really straightforward. All you have to do is fill out the information. First name, last name. You can get started with either American Express, Discover, Visa, or MasterCard. Type in your billing information. You can place your order and literally in 30 seconds to a minute max, you're done. We have investors who are using this right now, and they absolutely love it. One of the biggest things is it's a true way of earning while you learn. We have investors who swear by this, they love it, and there's traders all around the world, over 1,000 plus of them, that do absolutely nothing, and they just sit back and they collect. The neat thing about this is whether you're looking to make an extra $10,000 a week or $2,000 a month, everyone has a little bit different ambitions, but the neat thing about this is we have a tremendous amount of investors who are utilizing this right now who are seeing great success. For example, this is Rick W. Rick W. is a software developer who lives in California. He loves the copier, and he's averaging right around $5,000 a month. And you can see down here at the bottom, you can see that this is from Matt M. Matt M says the copier makes over 1,000 plus pips a month, and this is transforming your trading. You have Arvin says the copier is excellent and is working to fatten his trading account. The neat thing about this is it works. It's 18 months of history of my trading track record. It's consistent, it's reliable, it's your inside view, and you're not paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So what I would like to do is I would like to begin to open the room to questions and answers, or Q&As. And so we're going to do about 10 minutes of questions and answers, but why don't you go ahead and type into the question section box what questions you have. Regards to drawdown, my drawdown for the year since February 13 is less than 5%. I am not a wild trader. Matter of fact, if you take a look at my track record, which is right in front of you, this shows that I've only had 1 net losing day for the entire year since February 13th. Do me a favor, type in yes if you understand that I have only had 1 net losing day for this entire year since February 13th. This means February, March, April, May, June, and now July, 6 months, I've only had 1 net losing day. So that's consistent. It's month after month returns, and it's nothing worse than making money 1 month and losing it next month. Those are terrible investments. They're really, really challenging on the emotions. This works very, very well. Okay, Mo says, for the copier service for trading a mini lot, what account size? So what basically how I like to trade is I under leverage my trading account. And what that means is for every $3,000 I have, I will trade one micro lot. Now, I consider that to be an under leverage simply because my gains are right around 3.5 to 5% a month. My drawdown is less than 5%. I have a wonderful risk versus reward. I have a less than a 5% drawdown and over a 20% gain thus far this year. And we're halfway through, so we're looking at about a 40% gain. But I under leverage. I have a little bit of a larger account. For many investors, what they do is if they have $1,000 US, they will trade a micro lot, and that will obtain them that will be about a $20 investment per trade, and that will get them an average of $200 in return. And they trade two micro lots, which means if they have $2,000, they trade two micro lots, and then they start getting into a $400 US return. The biggest thing is just understanding the risk versus reward and not over leveraging. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It's a very consistent, reliable income source. It works very, very well. I do have an onboarding process, and let me go ahead and show that to you. It's actually really, really neat. So once you sign up, you're going to get access to the profile. And it says right here, it's going to say, hey, welcome to, it says thank you for signing up. It says just give us 30 minutes to send your login credentials. And then down here at the bottom, we have 6 easy steps. We have videos that will show you how to connect to your broker, edit your broker account for advanced options, adding your strategies, viewing open trades and trade history. So you can view my trades any moment at any given time. You have all the control over your own money. We have a state-of-the-art priority customer service, account information, investor versus trader. We give you your login information to the copier. We give you copier walkthrough manuals and frequently asked questions. So literally, it is a done-for-you process. So Judson says, hey, I just need a little bit of help linking my account. I have Awana. Oh, perfect. So hey, Hector, if you could please be so kind to have our product support reach out to Judson. He provided his telephone number in regards to connecting the account. Not a problem. And you also, inside of your online access, you will have a priority contact number that kind of gives you like a hotline, okay? Robert says sign up, says the sign up says 2 months. That's correct. So yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, we ran a promotion. And Monday and Tuesday, we stated that if you signed up on Monday or Tuesday, we ran a 48-hour promotion, that you would get 3 total months. Well, the promotion's done. Now what you have is you have 2 days to run this promotion, which really means that you need to take action, because after the 2 days, you're not going to have the ability to pay $199 for 2 months. Type into yes, why yes, if you understand that this is our give back to you. If you don't take advantage of this, then it's not going to be available. There is a cost on our side to run the software, and there is a cost on our side to provide the customer service, and to where these promotions cannot be the standards. These promotions have to be a short term, like when we run the 5 for 5. It's just our way to give back to you. You need to understand that this is a very, very strong introductory offer for you as an investor to take advantage of. Why am I doing it? Well, I have a bigger vision in regards to helping traders become successful. I know what it's like to struggle, and I know what it's like to give it all you have and still fall short. And I also know what it's like to say, hey, Mr. Trader, Mr. Client, Mr. Investor, can you show me what you're doing? And they say, yeah, give me tens of thousands of dollars, and I will show you. In a way, some people are in a position to do that, and they get a massive return on their investment. But if you're anything like me, see, I used to be a personal trainer. I literally would work 5.5 days a week, 12 hours a day, and which really means I had like 0 time to learn, and I had like 0 money because I made only $20,000 a year. That's really all I made, and I struggled. I lived in a 500 square foot apartment. I did not even own a vehicle. I drove my girlfriend's vehicle. It was a Honda Accord. It was like 10 plus years old. It was a hunk of junk. Had every mechanical problem you can think of. I used to literally have to open up the hood and bang on the starter just to get it to turn over so I could drive it to work. And I would reach out and say, hey, can you help me with this? Can you teach me with this? Can you show me how this works? Yeah, give me tens of thousands of dollars and I'll show you. And it's like, this is incredible. This is crazy. I would have killed for a service like this. I would have killed for an investor to said, hey, Josh, I know you're fighting in this life, and I know that you're struggling, and I know you're doing everything right, and you have a passion of being successful. Here's a very extremely affordable way to be able to duplicate a master trader's and a master trainer returns. It's not going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars like everybody else. It's month to month. You can cancel anytime. You're going to get a wonderful promotion, help you get up and running, and it's going to begin to pay for itself as long as I continue to hit my numbers. I would be thrilled for that. And so that's what we're doing. What we decided to do is we actually decided to launch this. It's the first time that we've opened this to the public. And so you're getting the best opportunities up front. But it's now your decision, and now it's your time to decide whether or not you want to do this. We also have a wonderful customer service chat box available. So like when you sign up, you will have the ability to ask questions to our customer service team, okay? Which really means that you can contact us, you can call us, you can use our chat box. We're really here to serve you as an investor and as an individual. Now, Lewis says, I got the copier yesterday. Well, congratulations, Lewis. Where shall I see the expiration of the membership? It's going to be if you got it yesterday, it's going to be 3 months of your purchase. And what really means is going to give you we're going to also provide you emails and contacts, but you're going to be sent an email to a online experience or your online profile, and then from there you can kind of see how much longer you have on the time and so on and so forth. David says, well, how long have you been successful? David, I've been successful for about a year and a half now, 18 months, and after this month, my success will now be 19 months. For the traders who started on Monday, they've already made over 238 pips. The traders who did this in the beginning of the month have already made over 1,300 pips. So if you really think about it, in regard to investment return on investment, it's a really straightforward concept that works very, very well. It's not wild swings. You don't have huge spikes up and huge spikes down. Okay. Oh, you're very, very welcome, David. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, my friend. Daniel says, I just signed up. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you so much for the trust. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I know you're going to love it. Hey, everyone, I got to get going. It's 9:30. I apologize for going a little bit over. This promotion for the trade copier, you can access it inside of your online membership as well. Just go to the section that says Josh's Trade Copier. I'll give you a nice little video to build an expectation of how it works too. I will be uploading this video in your Josh's 5 for 5 recorded sessions. Come join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to go over picking a date of the retirement. I call it the retirement date, which basically gives you the ability to decide how long it's going to take you to grow your income to where you want to make the money you want to make. So if you're looking to make $10,000 a month, I'm going to show you exactly how to utilize the retirement plan to help plan for that, most importantly, expedite it. Furthermore, above and beyond that as well, we're going to get into a little bit more into the counter trend line breaks, bearish and bullish, and begin to pick our trades too. Hey everyone, have a wonderful day. I also want to say thank you to Hector. Hector has done a wonderful job as our online instructor. He really brings the spirit to serve. We truly appreciate the time. We truly appreciate the effort. We don't take your trust lightly. What that means is we take it very, very serious, and we're honored by it to have the opportunity to show you. We're real traders. This is real success. We work with real people. We overcome real challenges. And we want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to invite you to be a part of this. Hey everyone, see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And on that note, every day, helping traders find a way. This is Joshua Martinez out.